What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Macho Movie Madness.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm Brandon, and alongside me always is Andrew, and today we have got another Mad Max video for y'all. We did the Versus not too long ago, and we told you we'd be watching Furiosa in theaters. Well, we did, and we are going to review that today. And we're going to start off, I think, we're probably going to get into some spoilers, so we're going to start off just by trying to be spoiler-free for the first part of this review. Shouldn't be too long, and then we'll let you know when we go into the spoiler section. First off, I guess we don't really do too many reviews like brand new movies, so
there's not too many that we really want to go see, but this summer it seems like there's a lot.
Yeah, there's going to be a few. We're definitely Twisters. We're gonna get down on that.
Yeah, a little bit of Deadpool probably.
A little Suck Zone. Yeah, Deadpool, and Wolverine. So I guess just first impressions of Furiosa. What do you think?
Overall, I thought it was pretty good. I don't think it's as good as Fury Road personally, but I did enjoy it quite a bit.
See, and I've had a chance to let it digest for a day. We watched it yesterday at the time of this recording, and when I remember telling you when the credits started rolling that I liked it better than Fury Road, and now I don't know. It's good. I really liked it. I think I like the overall premise of this movie better.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch it again, aren't you, to be able to tell?
Maybe, I don't know. We talked about in the Versus a little bit. You know, her taking the wives out was an okay story, but it just kind of got a little bit too much there, I think.
Yeah.
For me, this is more about kind of the bad guys getting situated in the wastelands, and then of course, you know, obviously the origin of Furiosa, which I thought was kind of cool. I thought it was all around probably a little bit better of a story.
Yeah.
Visually, they're both impressive, and this was no different, man. This was a really good movie as far as like visuals and effects go.
Yes. What I liked about it, you're talking about the bad guys. This really sets them up. The bad guys do all the talking, and I like that about the Mad Max series in general. Most of the time, your heroes are pretty silent and don't say a whole lot. And the bad guys get to tell like all the exposition and everything. And coming from that point of view, it to me, it's a cool twist.
Yeah, it is. I agree. And for those who may not be aware, I'm sure most people know by now, this is a prequel to Fury Road.
Yes.
The story-wise, this sets up Furiosa. Her obviously starts off with her being a kid, and then all the way up to the beginning of Fury Road. And that's all I'll say for now, as far as spoilers go. But overall, really enjoyed this one. Chris Hemsworth. I guess we can start by talking. I guess do we want to do acting first, or you want to do? I mean, pretty much story-wise, it's pretty clear cut. I mean, you've got three different cities within the wasteland. You've got like your gas town, which harbors all the fuel. You got Bullet Town, which is all the ammunition.
Yeah, the Bullet Farm.
The Bullet Farm, and yeah, and then it's basically just them colliding, trying to work out who's going to run the show. Dementus, played by Chris Hemsworth, who by far is my favorite in this movie.
Yeah, he kind of
steals it.
I was watching another reviewer last night, and he likened him to a carnival barker on the Midway. The way he does his dialogue, and I mean, he's not wrong.
No, he's 100% right.
He's kind of a doofus, and I like that about him. He's a bad guy, but you can kind of get behind him in a way. He's likable.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of goes back and forth on whether or not he's the baddest of the bad, and you know, of course, by the end, because he does such a terrible thing to Furiosa as far as capturing her and killing the mom and all that, but you kind of forget about that, you know, quarter of the way through the movie, and you've got Immortan Joe, who is like the bad guy from Fury Road, who's in this again, and you know him from Fury Road, so you're like, well, he's obviously the bad guy. I don't want
the big bad.
Yeah, but you also kind of know that Furiosa is going to wind up with him, but Dementus saves Furiosa from that attack.
Yes,
in the the Citadel, So you know, you kind of get behind them a little bit there, and then of course, by the end, and you can't really call him. He is a doofus. He acts like a doofus, but he's not like stupid.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he goes in and he takes Bullet Town or Bullet. Was it
The Bullet
again?
Farm, yeah.
Bullet Farm. Yeah, he takes the Bullet
Well,
Farm.
he takes Gas Town, and then he's trying to take Bullet Farm too, and kind of strong arm Immortan Joe so
Yeah.
he can take everything, and it doesn't work out for him.
No, yeah, it doesn't work out, but I mean, it starts to. It is
Yeah.
Furiosa and Jack end up spoiling it. Which Jack's another character.
Tori and
movie.
Jack.
Yeah,
he's kind of like the Max character almost.
He is kind of like the Max character in a way, and really, really enjoyed that character as well. The acting in this superb, I think, just awesome.
Yes. I can't think of any bad acting performances in this movie. I think all your leads did really good. I really liked that was a different actor that played Immortan Joe this time. The actor from Fury Road actually passed away.
Yeah,
and so you couldn't really tell, with CGI and everything. And I thought he didn't have quite as much to do in this one, but he was more stoic and silent, and I think I liked that a little better.
I do too.
Yeah.
Of course, Anya Taylor-Joy. She's been in a lot of stuff here lately. She was in the Split movie and basically that trilogy, the Unbreakable trilogy. She was in those last two. She is, just without sounding too mean, she's one of the goofiest looking chicks I think I've ever seen. With those eyes, she's not ugly, but she's like, I think it's just eyes are so far apart. But she is a really good actress, man.
Yes,
she did really, really good in this. Obviously, she takes the role of Furiosa, which was Charlize Theron's role in Fury Road.
And at times she sounds just like Charlize Theron.
She does. Yeah, she does.
She ends up on the war rig. They actually build the war rig that's in Fury Road, and she gets in with Praetorian Jack, and she ends up driving the war rig at one point. And I think that's kind of how she gets in, with Fury Road, with that part of it, where she was in that position. But yeah, I really enjoyed the story. I thought it was good. We'll get into cons later, why I don't think it's quite as good as Fury Road, but it's a pretty good story.
As far as spoilers go, I mean, I don't know if there's really any, now that I think about it, is there really any spoilers? We already know it's a prequel. We already know what happens in Fury Road.
Yeah.
She lives. It does show her getting her arm, how she gets her arm taken in this movie.
That was pretty good.
Obviously, Praetorian Jack does not make it, and he for such a built-up character, he kind of meets a shitty end.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of like, I don't know, not really shown.
Yeah,
you kind of know what happens to him, but
that's Australia for you.
Yeah, I guess so. What was that quote you sent me last night after the movie? It's hilarious.
So I can't remember what video it was, but the comments section of this video I was watching said that it wasn't a post-apocalyptic movie. It's actually a documentary of Australia from about 20 miles inland.
yeah. Whoever doesn't live on the coast anymore, that's what's going on in Australia right now. It's Mad Max. Everybody's just a bunch of crazy marauders.
Shout out to all our Aussie fans out there.
Yeah, all three of you or whatever. So Dementus ends up trying to take the Citadel. He wants to be the ruler of the Wasteland. A lot of pomp and circumstance out of this guy. They got a big nose prosthetic on Chris Hemsworth. Of course, he's still jacked to the gills.
Yeah.
But he's awesome in this movie. He's funny. All of his crew is really good. And obviously you've got, by the end, it becomes more of just a revenge plot by Furiosa to take out Dementus and the rest of his crew, with the ones that she hadn't killed already on that. Because that, by the way, that Fury Road scene, holy shit, was awesome. That whole thing was awesome. Yeah. That's definitely the strongest part of that movie.
Yeah, it was cool, and she was just kind of a stowaway on that thing.
Yes.
Nobody actually knew she was actually on it, and once they started attacking it, she started helping out after all the war boys had died on that rig.
And that's how she got that gig with Jack.
Yeah, that's a powerful scene. I really liked it.
Awesome. But anyway, it becomes her working her way up through that, rolling through Fury Road with Jack for a while. He releases her. He says you can go and That's she basically works towards getting her revenge.
Yeah.
Almost fails, gets her arm taken, but finds her way back to the Citadel and helps Immortan Joe and the rest of the gang take him out. Finally gets the revenge at the end on Chris Hemsworth, and I thought the ending of him was pretty interesting.
Yeah, we might as well talk about now. If you don't want to hear spoilers, you might click off before and come back after you've watched the movie. But that was the one thing I was actually talking to my wife about it. I'm like, could that actually happen? I don't know.
Planting the seed and using his body to grow the fruit bearing tree.
Yeah, her
to make
mother
him suffer.
The people in the green place that she talked about in the first in Fury Road, you actually see it here, and her mother gives her this seed, and so she keeps it in her hair the entire time, all these years. In Fury Road, what they say, like 7,000 days or something like that she had gone without them, and she ends up planting it through the middle of Dementus, and so like his life force is growing this tree. And it was kind of goofy. It was cool.
It was.
But
that was the one. Luckily, it was at the end, but that was the one thing in the entire movie.
It was kind of like a choose your own adventure there at the end. They're like,
it was.
Some people say he died this way, and some people, she just shot him.
Yeah, it showed scenes of both, or just shot him in the head. And then this one, and I'm just like, my face is just like, what? All right. Of course, then right after that, she takes the apple and then goes and gets the girls, loads them up, and that begins Fury Road.
Yeah.
But if you guys love Mad Max, or Mad Max type movies, you're going to like this movie.
Yeah.
This is a very good movie. It's a very strong movie, and I do remember thinking the whole time, I like this better than Fury Road so far. And it's not that I dislike Fury Road. I think Fury Road's awesome. But I do, for whatever reason, I just like this better as a whole. Now, there's
a little bit more emotionally to this. I feel like you see the love with her and her mother, and you see her trying to get back. Getting back to the green place means everything to her. Right. And even the climactic fights there at the end, you don't really see what happens. It's not really about the action. Where Fury Road, from the second act on, was just all action. It was all the chase. So it feels a little deeper in that regard.
Yeah, and there was plenty of action in this, and very good action at that. But I did like that this wasn't a lot of dreck. It wasn't over. Like they didn't shove anything down your gullet. There wasn't a lot of crazy feminist wave nonsense in this. No agenda. Not that there was a huge agenda in Fury Road, but it just got a little bit tiresome by the end. But I thought this was good. I still felt she sold the character well, the character of Furiosa really well. What would you say? You mentioned it earlier. What would you say knocks this movie down a peg? If you're saying Fury Road's better, so what makes you like Fury Road better than this?
This movie, it suffers from what I like to call director's cut syndrome. It's way too long. I feel like it's 2 hours and 28 minutes.
Yeah,
it's a lot to sit through, and usually if I'm watching a movie on my own, me, Brandon, it's going to take me 2 or 3 days to watch a movie.
Yeah. And sometimes that's just a 90-minute movie.
Yeah. I think the pacing probably isn't as good as Fury Road.
I'll give you that. I will give you that.
I probably need to watch it again before I can make that claim. But man, Fury Road's so good, and I hold it way up there, just below The Road Warrior for me. I think this is just below it as far as third best in the series.
Yeah, it could maybe go either way for me. I do, like I said, I think just story wise, motion and action all together, I think it's better.
It has a little bit more of everything, except maybe the action part. Although it did have a lot of action,
but the action that was there was not. It wasn't lacking. It was so good. Yeah, and it's not like there's plenty of action, but there just wasn't quite as much as Fury Road.
We're saying it's more well balanced of a movie.
It is. It's more. Yeah, the score was just as good. I think it was all good. they broke it up kind of into chapters, and that was okay. Some of the editing was a little bit wonky at times, but I understand it was just that was a personal choice. That was a director's choice. That wasn't like bad. It was conscious decision. So it's not like it hurt anything. Like it was set up as chapters, almost like a comic book almost.
And at this point, George Miller can do anything he wants. He's almost 80 years old and making movies like this, which have to be a pain in the butt to make in the desert like that. Just hats off to him.
Yeah, he's still got it, man. It's awesome. Speaking of which, $168 million for the budget. So, and this is just Wikipedia numbers. They're saying box office is at 64.6 right now. Still early
after the first week.
After the first week. So it's still early, but I'd say it'll probably make it back. I just don't know how well. It may not. Who knows? I don't know. We're still looking at getting a sequel to Fury Road and the next actual Mad Max movie, and I'm hoping that still happens.
And while we're in spoiler territory, how about that one scene with Max just kind of overlooking the entire thing?
And that's what I was saying. That was definitely him, right? Because of the car.
Yeah.
So
the intersection.
And that was one thing. I guess it slipped my mind by the time we walked out of there, because I was going to talk to you about that. I'm like, that was Max, right?
Yeah. Well,
because you seen her pass out and you seen him overlooking, and then all of a sudden she wakes up in that old lady's like little dark cave thing with the maggots on her arm.
Yeah.
You don't know how she got there.
And the reason Brandon forgot to talk to me about it. So this review's coming to you a day later than it probably would have, because as we're pulling out of the theater 2 towns over, our town's getting hit with tornadoes last night.
Oh man.
One touchdown. What? It was just a little ways from your place, right up by the airport. So
yeah. And I got video of one. It was, and it just kind of it was a skinny one. It was kind of briefly touched down and went right back up, but it was a really cool video. But I was kind of pissed. I was like, man, I missed this. That's my thing. I always wanted to see one.
I guess sirens went off in town for like an hour and a
half.
We were 2 towns over watching Furiosa and having a good time and missed the entire thing. The sirens in town literally went off when I turned on the Brandon's Road to drop him off. So yeah,
they turned off. And it's funny because I'm like, we're going to drive right into this, because I said Chelsea still says they're still going off, and then Amy texts me and she's like, they're still going off, and then she sends that video, and the whole time we are driving in clouds, but nothing. It gets windy the closer we get to our hometown.
No rain, no anything.
No rain, no nothing. I said, we really missed this entire thing. Ugh. Anyway,
so this is really the first time we've talked about this movie together.
Yeah, we other things just kind of came up, right after the movie. But
before we get into rating it and stuff, there were some little things about this movie that I wanted to talk about that I liked. Like the war boy that comes up to him with the arrow stuck in his head, and he asks him if he's in Valhalla.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of little things like that in there.
Yeah, a lot of attention to detail was put into it.
Well,
I like Chris Hemsworth. He's riding in a chariot pulled by 3 motorcycles with no riders.
Yes, and he's holding the ropes like this, and he's steering it like.
It's the definition of badass, but it's like I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it's working. Well, you can see the pulleys, like you can see him pulling through all the bars of the motorcycles, and how it's working it kind of. But you're still like, I don't understand, and how is it going? Like this, like I don't know.
Mad Max universe, so you don't think about it too hard.
No, it was wild. Well, we had like all their motorbikes are pulled put together, like their wheels are pulled together just by like these like metal bars where they just do it and then lock it in, just real makeshift bullshit that something they could change a tire out real quick and keep going.
Yeah. And then back in spoiler territory, we're sitting there, everybody else had left the theater, and I'm looking on my phone. I'm like, hey, Brandon, there's a post-credit scene in this thing. We didn't have any idea what it was. So I'm like, let's stay and check it out. We endured probably 7 or 8 minutes of credits. It was
do not stay for the ending credit scene. It's not where it's literally a blink of an eye. It's a flash of the gear shift. It looked like from Fury Road. It's not, yeah. So just don't put yourself through that unless you just love in credits and you just want to hang out in the theater longer for whatever reason, but don't do it.
I was like, oh man.
Oh, it was already such a long ass movie, and I was as much as I like the movie, and I didn't really get bored with it. I was just sitting there, but I was just sitting there, my ass was hurting. I was just thinking, 2 hours in, you're like, I think we need to wrap it up a little bit. I think we need to wrap it up. Kept looking down at my phone and the time, like, damn.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds bad, but I never did get bored. But that's the thing too. I don't know. I guess that's a point I should make. As much as I like this better than Fury Road when I first watched it, I don't know how many times I'm going to sit through this movie.
Yeah.
I just don't know. But I also don't go back and watch Fury Road.
Really. See, I could put Fury Road on about any time.
Really, you're a much bigger Mad Max fan than I am anyway. But I can go back and watch some Mel Gibson ones. That's fine.
Yeah.
But me, like both of us are like this. The older we get, 90 minutes is about where it's at.
Yeah, it needs to be lean.
There's a few things. There's a few times where I don't care if a movie's long to sit through it one time. But I mean,
you're affecting rewatchability when you get over 2 hours.
Absolutely. It's got to be damn good.
Terminator 2 level.
Yeah,
I love Heat, and I don't watch Heat very often just because it's 3 hours long.
Exactly. Who's got that kind of time? I just don't anymore. So anyway, is there anything else you want to say before we get into rating this?
No, I think it's a really good movie, and I think if it's playing in your town, you should and you like Mad Max, you should definitely go watch it. I think it's worthwhile entry into the franchise, and
for sure,
and it's captures the lore, everything you like about it, and adds new characters while it's doing it. I think it's just a little bit long.
It is a little bit long, but it is worth to watch at least one time if you're into this. And there's not much playing right now. I'm not really into big into Planet of the Apes. I've heard okay things about it, but
that stuntman movie with what's his face, it looks okay.
The Fall Guy.
The Fall Guy, yeah.
That I want to see that, but
we might this down the line.
This is worth watching for sure.
So. Let us know in the comments if you want to see us. I'm smelling a versus maybe this and Fury Road. Since
we can do that.
Fury Road just beat Mad Max in one, and you like this just as much. So it'd be an interesting take.
It might be. Also let us know in the comments what you thought of this movie once you see it, and just let us know if you put this over Fury Road or not. And hopefully, and definitely go out and support it because we want to see another Mad Max. We want to see that
right.
sequel. And I'm sure they may be making it anyway, but just to kind of, make sure. What are you rating this thing?
I thought about this a little bit last night because I asked you, and yours was quite a bit higher than mine. I am going to raise my ranking a little bit because it is a good movie. I'm going to go 3 3/4.
3 3/4.
I think it's pretty good.
I think I said coming out of the theater, I said 4, and I think I'd still stay 4. I think it's a solid film. I think it's really good. You have to knock it down a peg for that length, but at least that first watch, you're not going to get, unless you just don't like these movies, you're not really going to get that bored with it. I mean, I don't think it's worth knocking it too much,
right?
Because it's still such a well put together movie. Just me personally, I'm sticking with 4 out of 5. So. Yeah. Anyway, go check that out. Furiosa, Mad Max Saga, and we'll be looking forward to the next one. What do we got coming down the pike for this channel?
We had decided last time out when we do an actual Macho review, we're going to do The Fog with Adrian Barbeau.
Yes, why we love The Fog.
Of Adrian Barbeau, we're going to do Swamp Thing for episode 29.
1982.
Yep, Warehouse B. And then on the versus front, we've got a Punisher versus Dolph Lundgren versus Thomas Jane. So
yes, that'll be fun. That'll be awesome. We're gonna be recording those next time out, so those should be come up real soon. So all right, well, make sure you drop a like and a comment down below, and let us know what you think of Mad Max. We will see you all next time.
We're out of here.